It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream video. This is going to be a live stream for episode 5 of The Walking Dead season 8, which we saw last week, which was called The Big Scary You. Now, this is going to be just like the other live streams. We're going to be discussing everything we saw in the episode that we saw last week, episode 5, and predicting what we're going to see in the next episode. So, just like before, you guys can ask questions, or we can just, talk about what we want to see or where we think the story is heading in the next couple episodes. So there's currently nobody watching, so I'm just going to basically wait a bit until some people come into the live stream and start kind of participating. So we have FaZe Ken here that says hello. Hello, FaZe, how are you? It's good seeing new faces because I think FaZe Ken is new here. I haven't, heard him or seen him on the channel that much, so, I think he's new. He asks, what happened to Heath? That's a very good question. I'm not sure. They're gonna have to, come up with a solid reason why Heath left. Obviously, there's a few things that we anticipated or predicted that might happen to Heath, some of which connect to some comic book storylines, but some of those are unrealistic to happen at this point. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happened to him and whether he's going to come back. I don't think that he's going to come back in the first half of season 8. So if he comes back this season, it's most likely going to be the second half. And the longer they wait for him to come back, the more unrealistic it would be. So they will have to have a good explanation for why he left and what happened to him. Harry Osborne says, well, hello there. Hello, Harry, how are you? FaZe Ken, or the Vados from season 1. No, Vados from season 1, actually, they're all dead. So if you watch a deleted scene of the Vados, you see that they're all killed. So they're all dead, and yeah, so they're not going to come back. But, there is a chance that there is some other group that has basically captured him, but this group is not any group that we've seen so far, and they're not from the comics. They are basically a TV show only group that we're gonna see. That's the only way I could see it going at this point. So speaking of the episode that just aired, Season 8, Episode 5. That was a crazy episode, and it's actually my favorite episodes one of my favorite episodes this season. I really liked the way they had everything work out together and the pacing and everything. And I think that it was one of those episodes that I really enjoyed. I had so much fun watching it and everything, but it's not like it was action paced or anything like that. It had a bit of action, but it wasn't really action packed. But I still enjoyed it, and it was still fun to watch. So that was pretty cool. Harry Osborne. It wouldn't be the first time we interacted. I haven't heard your name before, so I don't know. Remind me where I've heard your name before. How about that? FaZe Ken. I think Jadis is gonna capture Rick. Yeah, that's something that I think we're pretty sure about at this point, that Rick is going to be captured by the Scavengers and Jadis. He is going to the Scavengers. We know that from the promo of the next episode. So it's very, very likely that he's going to be captured by the Scavengers. Now, if he does end up getting captured, it would be a bit of miscalculation on Rick's part because he went there by himself. And he didn't have any kind of backup. So I think because of that, it's a bit of miscalculation on Rick's part. I would think he's good of a leader as good of a leader to be able to predict that the Scavengers are gonna not want to negotiate or make a deal, and they're gonna want to capture Rick at some point. So yeah, I think it would have been smarter for Rick to go there with some backup. And another thing that I want to mention, why didn't they go to the Scavengers first thing? In my opinion, the first group they should have attacked was the Scavengers before they went to the Sanctuary or any of the other outposts. So I'm not sure why they left the Scavengers till the end, because I think they're the last group that Rick and the group are going to. At least Rick is. But it would have made more sense for them to go to the Scavengers first. Maybe Rick was just trying to get enough kind of evidence or things like that, so that he could tell Jadis and the scavengers that they're going to lose the war and basically force them to help Rick. But even at that point, I think it's a bit of miscalculation on Rick's part. Harry Osborne, I commented last video. Okay. Well, I still don't remember what comment you made, but okay. FaceCan, do you think Negan and the others will go to another outpost because of the walkers? That's a possibility, but they could also just find a way out first and then clear the herd from the outside, because the herd has not got into the sanctuary yet, so they still have that to their advantage. They don't have to clear inside of the sanctuary itself. So if they can safely get out of the sanctuary and make a plan to clear all the walkers on the outside, that would be the first thing that they can do. The more logical way to go. Because Negan and the others have no idea which of the other outposts are free. They don't know which have been attacked. They don't know which are safe. So if they're gonna make a safe decision, it would be to clear the sanctuary from the outside. One thing I want to mention before I move to the other questions, this live stream, just like the other ones, is going to be only half an hour long. That way it's a good amount of time in order for us to discuss everything for this episode and the next episode. So episode 5 that just aired on episode 6, which we're going to see tomorrow. And there is little time to just talk about random stuff. So I think a half an hour slot is a good time for that. So we are 6 minutes in, so we have lots of time left. But just want to let everybody know that it's going to be a half an hour slot live stream. Face Ken, do you think in Rick's flashback the little girl was Gracie baby and not Judith? I actually did make a video on that. That's possible, but at this point I think all of the kind of predictions we made based on that bunny, I think all of that is just because they used the same prop bunny, and there's really nothing supporting the claim that Gracie is Judith in the flash forward or anything like that. It's still possible, but there's really nothing supporting that at this time. Harry Osborne, I said this channel is dead. Okay, yeah, I remember who you are now. Everyone can have their own opinions, and, thank you for sharing your opinions, but we're just having fun on the channel. I'm not trying to make my channel the best channel right now. That's not my goal right now. My goal right now is to, talk with you guys, to put great content out there, and to have fun. That's what it's all about for me, at least. Right now, I'm not trying to be the best YouTuber for Walking Dead stuff. That's not my goal right now. So you can say the channel is dead based on that perspective. You can say that. That's fine. Faceken, I heard the mid-season finale. Okay, no spoilers. There's some spoilers here. No spoilers. We don't talk about spoilers. I'm just going to remove that comments here so it's not spoiled for people. No spoilers on this channel. I heard about that rumor and that spoiler and I talked about it, but no spoilers on this channel, please, because I don't want things to be spoiled for people that don't know about the spoilers. So please, no spoilers. No spoilers. I might do like a specific spoiler video just before the mid-season finale, just because of spoilers or not wanting to spoil it for others. So before the mid-season finale airs, or before we get there, I might have a standalone live stream that we basically just talk about spoilers. And I don't mean new spoilers, I mean just that specific spoiler that you brought up. But other than that, please, no spoilers on the channel. FaceCan says, I love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate the support you guys have given me. FaceCan says, okay, sorry. No problem. Just from now on, please, no spoilers. And I know you're new here, so don't worry about it. But I'm just trying not to have a lot of spoilers on the channel so that it doesn't spoil it for everybody else and me also, because I don't want to know about spoilers. But I think it's a better way to go, and it's a better way to go if we have like a standalone spoiler live stream. That way we're safe. AJYT Abbott says, what's up? What's up, AJYT? How are you doing? He also says, how was your Thanksgiving? It was normal. I'm in Canada, so it wasn't really Thanksgiving for us here, but at the same time, I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving that much anyway, but it was good, you know? It was just another day for me. Harry Osborn, whatever happened to your edits? Um, I haven't had time to do a lot of edits, but I do want to do a couple edits, but I just haven't had the time to do it. If I do edits, then I'm gonna have to cut back on some of these discussion videos that I do, and I just don't want to do that. I rather do discussion videos than do edits at this point. But long term, maybe in the break or during the break for the mid-season or the mid-season break, I might do some more edits, and I probably will do more edits when this season ends. But at this point, probably no more edits at this time. Facecan, how many more seasons do you think there will be? That's a good question. If they're gonna go with comic material, they still have 2 or 3 more seasons easily, and that only depends on how hot the show is gonna be in a few seasons, because that has to be taken into consideration as well. But at this time, I think they have at least easily 3 more seasons to go. Harry Osborn, what was your favorite edit? Out of the ones I made myself, or just edits in general? Out of the ones I made myself, I would probably say the Negan Kills edits. Those were my favorite, because I had so much fun making them. Just coming up with these different scenarios and things like that. That was my favorite ones. Or those were my favorite series of edits. AJYT Abbott, do you think Negan will kill or burn Simon with the iron? I don't think he's going to burn him with the iron. The iron has a very specific reason. It's only used for the people or for the guys that have women that are Negan's wives, and the wives go with the other people temporarily and come back to Negan. That way, as a punishment, Negan puts iron to the face of the other guy. But he doesn't just do it for any guy, so I don't think it makes sense for him to do it to Simon. But in terms of if Negan is going to kill Simon, that's possible, and it's something shocking, but I think it would make more sense for Simon to be killed by one of our heroes, one of the survivors. Harry Osborn, yours. Yeah, you're just referring back to the edits. I answered that question. FaceCan, do you think Rick and Daryl's fight will affect their relationship? Maybe short term, not long term. I think there's a lot at stake here. There's a lot of human lives on the line, and that's why it's a sensitive moment for both of them. And both of their emotions are at an all-time high, and they could just blow up at any moment and start fighting each other, just like they did. But I don't think that means that they're gonna have problems in the future. Like, their relationship is not going to be negatively impacted by this little fight that they had. Harry Osborn, my favorite was when Negan killed Herschel. Yeah, that was a good one. Joe Dapper, who's the crossover character? We don't know. It's going to be revealed tomorrow. I'm actually going to do a standalone video on it, maybe right after this live stream is done, where I basically leave it open for you guys as well, just to, for you guys to guess, who do you think the character is going to be? It's obviously going to be revealed tomorrow in Talking Dead, and I will definitely do a standalone video on it when it's actually revealed. But at this point, I might just do one video where I leave it to discussion, leave it for you guys. Who do you think it's going to be? Something like that. FaceCan, I gotta go. Alright, bye. Thank you for coming and asking a few questions. I appreciate it. AJYT Abbott, do you think Daryl will try to attack the sanctuary anyway? Already saw that him and Tara are going in the promo. Yeah, we did see in the promo that Daryl and Tara are very happy because they both want to attack the sanctuary. So we might see that. Is it a good idea? Probably not. But will we see it? Maybe. AJYT Abbott, didn't want to dive into tomorrow's episode too much. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I want this live stream to be about tomorrow's episode as much as possible, and maybe about last episode as well, but we might go off topic a few times here and there, but overall I really want it to be about this episode and the next episode. So episode 5 and 6. Joe Dapper, it's Alpha. I hope not. You're talking about the crossover character. I hope that's not the case. For those of you that don't know, Alpha is a comic character. And Joe Dapper, don't talk about the comic stuff because I don't know who has seen or read the comics and stuff. So just to keep this spoiler free, let's not talk about that here as well. Joe Dapper says Madison Clark. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with Alpha and Madison Clark. I hope that's not the case. I really hope that they don't make Madison Alpha. That would be the worst thing, in my opinion. That would ruin everything that they have built on Fear the Walking Dead, in my opinion. Harry Osborne. Ever heard of a The Walking Dead editor named Ziggy? No, I have not. I haven't heard of them. Bob Stokey. Madison is Alpha, you mean, I think. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of theories about that out there. I hope that's not the case, and I just talked about that a few seconds ago. AJYT Abbott. It would be cool if it was Glenn delivering pizza to a Fear character. The thing is, it would be cool, but what would that add? Other than being Glenn on Fear and being very cool and everything. And also, it's post-apocalypse. Glenn has already met with Rick at this point, probably. And yeah, so it's cool, but do I want it to happen? Probably not. AJYT Abbott. I meant about Daryl and Tara next episode. I didn't want to derail your stream. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Next episode, yeah, I think you're right. We did see in the promo that they want to attack. Like I said, they want to attack. Maybe they will, but it's not a good idea for them to attack. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A. Hey, I'm curious. Who do you think they decided to not bring Douglas into the show? Why did they gender swap him? I think it's just to remix the story a little bit. That's all. I don't think there's any kind of hidden messages or hidden secrets or anything like that. I just think they did it because they wanted it to be a bit different than the comics. That's the only reason. Harry Osborne. Bob Stuckey is back. Yes, he is. At least he's back on the live stream. He's probably not going to be back on the show because he's dead, but he's back in this live stream. So there's currently 4 people watching and we're about 18 minutes in. I think the most number of people that have been on the live stream have been 5. So let's put on this channel or this challenge. Let's try to pass that threshold. Let's try to get at least 6 people on the channel on the live stream right now. Let's try to make that happen. Let's call your friends and try to make this happen. That would be cool. Or more. Hopefully more than 6, but let's just start with 6 right now. AJYT Abbott. The Madison Alpha theory is really foolish. It wouldn't be sensible because in the Fear timeline, as of right now, Rick and the gang have escaped the CDC. I read it on the wiki. Okay, yeah. So, it's definitely unrealistic because of timeline issues as well, but also because of what they've been building with Madison. At this point, if Madison is Alpha, it makes no sense. Their character the characters don't match, if you know what I mean. And I don't want to go into spoilers from the comics that much anyway. Harry Osborne, I was dead too. You're back now, right? Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A. Hey, is it possible that Simon was the original leader of the Sanctuary and Negan came and took over? Definitely possible. It's not as likely, but it's possible. I did one video just recently talking about all of the theories that could be possible in terms of Simon, Negan, and the Saviors. So if you go watch that video, you will basically know my thoughts. But I think it's very, very, very likely that this is what happened. Simon went to the Oceanside back when Oceanside had all of their men and they were back in their original camp. Simon killed all the men and basically came back, but the other women escaped. Simon talked to Negan about this. Negan was unhappy. He was pretty mad at Simon. Excuse me. And Simon basically said that he's sorry or something along those lines and stayed Negan's right-hand man. And at this point, when Simon suggested to go and kill everybody, That's what ticked Negan off. That's what reminded Negan of what Simon did before with the Oceanside. That's what I think it's all about. It's likely that it's something else, but this is the most logical and realistic scenario for it to go. Harry Osborn, yeah, the power of the internet. Yep, the power of the internet. With the power of the internet, people can come back. We can have Harry Osborn, we can have Bob Stuckey, we can have Herschel, Beth, everybody else. Epic Zombie Killer. When do you think we'll see a flashback episode for Negan? Will it come in the second half? I don't think we're going to see a flashback with Negan. If you mean about his backstory, yeah, I don't think we're going to see it. We might see something along the lines of a Negan backstory kind of thing with like a, how can I say this? With episodes outside of this season. Something like a spin-off miniseries or something like that. That's a better way to go, in my opinion. Simon is from Better Call Saul. Confirmed. Could be. AJYT Abbott. Do you think Morgan will come back soon? If he doesn't come back in the next episode, then he's probably not going to come back until the second half. We have 5 people watching. 1 more to go. Let's get 6 people before this live stream is over. Negan is not a... Bob Stuckey says Negan is not a threat. Simon is. I think they're both as much as a threat as the other. Negan is more brutal. Simon is more calculated with what he does. And he's, I would say, less emotionally attached in terms of what he wants to do. If he wants to do it, he's going to do it. He doesn't care who he has to kill. But Negan is more brutal. If he thinks killing this person is the right thing to do, he doesn't care how he kills them. And the more brutal, the better for him. But in terms of who's a threat, they're both as big of a threat, I would say. Epic Zombie Killer. Would you feel, or how would you feel if they did the exact same stuff from Here's Negan in the TV show? I would be okay with it. They don't need to remix that. They can just keep it the same. Joe Dapper. Simon is the reason why Glenn and Abraham are dead. He rounded them up and handed them to Negan. That's true, but at the same time, Negan is the leader. He killed Simon, or he killed Glenn and Abe himself. And all of the other saviors were there helping. So they're all in it together. They are all a threat. They're all as big of a threat as Negan. Joe Dapper. Simon is the reason they're at war. I wouldn't agree with that. I think it's all of them. From the saviors, from Simon to the other saviors, to Negan, to Rick, to Daryl and the others. They're all a part of why we have this war as the other. If Rick and the others didn't attack Negan's sanctuary or one of the outposts and kill the saviors in their sleep, we might not have this war. You know, think about it that way as well. Bob Stuckey, the background guys are scary. Yes, they are. If you mean the saviors, I think that's what you're talking about. AJYT Abbott, do you think Eugene will ditch the sanctuary by the end of the season? Definitely. Bob Stuckey, Joe, I agree Simon was introduced first. It's possible. Harry Osborn, I wish I played Negan. Or wait, what are you referring to, Bob Stuckey? Are you talking about who's the leader, or are you talking about who's a bigger threat? Harry Osborn, I wish I played Negan. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is great as Negan. Joe Dapper, all Simon calls. Not sure what you mean there. Joe Dapper, Simon is a secret leader. He's the second in command. He's the right-hand man. He's not the leader. Epic Zombie Killer, which version of Rick do you prefer? The TV version or the comic version? That's a interesting question. Tough to answer. I would say a mixture of both. Bob Stuckey, did Simon own the sanctuary first? I don't think he did. AJYT Abbott, do you think the war could have been... do you think the war would have been in play if Sasha hadn't busted out of the coffin? Yeah, it would have still been the same. They would have still had that small skirmish at Alexandria, and that would have led to the war. So I don't think that would have changed too much. So we have 7 people watching. Yeah. We did it, guys. Let's Let's get to 10. Let's try that. Bob Sticky, who got Glenn and Abe killed? If you're talking about whose fault was it, I would say everybody that agreed to attack that outpost. But if you are talking about who is directly responsible for that death, it would be probably Negan. Harry Osborn, JDM is too quiet. I don't agree. I think he's perfect as Negan. Epic Zombie Killer, do you wish Negan would look a bit more like the comic version? That's difficult to say. I like the charisma that JDM, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, brings as Negan, but at the same time, I would have loved to see some of that comic Negan lines and stuff like that. But yeah, I would kind of say yeah. But I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. But the thing I would have liked to change is made Jeffrey Dean Morgan buff up a bit more and be more intimidating and bigger, and the other for him to be able to use some of the words that Negan uses in the comics. Bob Stuckey, they would have killed one either way. That's true, but the question is, would they have even come upon one another if they didn't attack first? If Rick and the others didn't attack the outpost, would Negan and the Saviors have found them? It's likely that they would have, but that's a big question. AJYT Abbott, do you think Regina is gonna be a really main savior? She came along in the premiere, and all of a sudden she's getting tons of time. Yeah, it's possible. She definitely can become a major savior. She definitely looked very badass by killing that one person or one savior who rebelled against them and tried to shoot Simon or one of the others. Bob Stuckey, JDM looks like a woman. I don't agree. He's thin, but I don't agree that he looks like a woman. Or he looks like a woman. Harry Osborn, he looks like a 40-year-old Santa Claus. We're getting into the off-topic stuff now, I guess. HYT Abbott, I know Negan kind of killed your ex and all, but he is the man straight up. We have a little bit of beef going on here. Epic Zombie Killer. What happened to Arat? She kind of disappeared. She was there in the last episode. She didn't have any line or anything, but she was there. We're about 28 minutes in. A couple more minutes. It's been a pretty cool discussion so far. One thing I want to say, so once I'm done this video here, or this live stream, I have 3 videos planned. I might put it out all together tonight, or I might put it out tomorrow as well. One is about the whole thing with Negan and Simon, and who was the leader and everything like that, and Rick and Daryl's fight, something along the lines of merging those together. It's going to be different than the other 2 videos I did on this, but it's still going to have the same kind of tone to it. That's one I'm planning to do. The other is about the Fear the Walking Dead character who's going to cross over. It's most likely going to just be a short one where I basically ask you guys' opinions about it. And basically let everybody know that it's going to be revealed tomorrow, for those of you that don't know. Or for those that don't know about it. And the third one that I'm planning to do is talking about the helicopter a bit more that we saw in the last episode. And basically, or thinking about whether it can be the scavengers, because there's a small hint about that. So stay tuned for those 3 videos, either tonight or tomorrow. I missed a couple questions here. Let's go back a bit. There we go. Joe Dapper, he looks like a cracked out Negan. Could be. Bob Sticky, when will your crossover prediction video be out? Probably tonight. I'm probably going to do that first. Then I'm going to put out the video about the helicopter. And then I'm going to do the other video with Simon and Negan and the Saviors. And the whole thing with the Daryl Rick fight. Joe Dapper put out tonight, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to probably put that out tonight. The crossover prediction. AJYT Abbott, do you think that Shane's death death still weighs heavily on Rick today? I don't think he thinks about that death as much today as he did before. I think there's a lot more death that he's thinking about right now. Abraham, Glenn, Sasha, and everybody else that recently died. So I don't think Shen's death is on his mind at all. Charles Manson, I killed them, not Negan. You're not welcome here, Charles Manson. The real Charles Manson, not you, but yeah. Epic Zombie Killer. What are your thoughts on them revealing the crossover character on Talking Dead? I mean, if they were gonna hype it up this much, they should have just waited and made it be a shock. But I feel like they're doing this because people don't care anymore. They're not interested anymore. So they're like, we might as well just reveal it. So that's all I think it is. AJYT Abbott, do you think the helicopter could be connected to an oncoming comic storyline? Not saying anything more about it. Yeah, it's possible, and I did do one video on that recently, where I share my thoughts about that specific theory, so you can go there and check that out. But in terms of will it happen, it's possible, but it's unlikely, I would say. Epic Zombie Killer, if the crossover character is Abraham, will it be good for Fear the Walking Dead? Depends on how they do it. It really depends on how they do it. Charles Manson, how do they know that? Do they know what, exactly? AJYT Abbott, do you think that Rick could have talked Morales into fighting with them? Difficult to say. Maybe. It's not impossible, but the main thing is it looked like Morales was a full-on savior at that point. So it would have been a lot of effort, and it would have taken a lot of time for Rick to actually change Morales' mind. Epic Zombie Killer, is there ever a point where you forget about your earlier characters, like Dale, for example? Where you forget about... Oh, where I forget about earlier characters? Yeah, tons of times. Sometimes people talk about some characters and I have no idea who they're talking about. And I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, how did I forget about them? It happens. Charles Manson, if I'm real or not. Well, even if you are real, Charles Manson just died recently, so I don't think he's going to be coming to my live stream and talking to me. So, even if he wasn't there, I wouldn't think he would come here, so... Cool the Land, or how do you even say that? Cool Dinland? Cool Deland, or something like that, says hello. Hello there. We're like 33 minutes in. I might push this live stream 5 more minutes, because we have some new people joining, but yeah, probably just 5 more minutes. Excuse me. I'm coughing all over the place here. Epic Zombie Killer. When will The Walking Dead end, and how would you like it to end? That's a good question. Off top of my head, I can't really answer that. That is probably a video I need to do, a standalone video. I need to think about it, but it's a great question, but I just don't have an answer from the top of my head right now. But it's way too early for it to end. I know that. Charles Manson. I'm the hidden key to The Walking Dead. Enough said. I'm out of it. I'm out of here. Alright. I have no idea what you mean there, but okay. See ya. AJYT Abbott. What do you think would make Negan surrender to Rick? That's a very good question. Let's see. He doesn't care about the saviors. He cares about the community, I would say, but not the saviors themselves. So if Rick... Okay, I think this... Yeah, this probably. If Rick has the upper hand on them, and he's going to murder all of the saviors, all of the workers, if Negan doesn't surrender, Negan will most likely surrender. But if it's like 2-3 saviors, I don't think Negan would care. Squidward, the almighty meme god. Sup, I'm late, lol. No worries. We're like almost at the end of the live stream, but yeah. Thank you for joining. Epic Zombie Killer. How many seasons can you see Fear the Walking Dead lasting? It all depends on what the new showrunner is going to do. Obviously, season 4, there's going to be a new showrunner. It depends a lot on what the new showrunner does and how he shapes up the rest of Fear the Walking Dead. Depends a lot on that. Strongman, spoilers say... Okay, no spoilers. Please. We're not talking about spoilers here. I'm going to remove that. We're not talking about spoilers here. We're not going to spoil it for people that don't want to know. As I said earlier in this live stream, I might do a standalone live stream where we just talk about that specific spoiler about a specific character that might end up dying in the mid-season finale. I might do that. But other than that, please no spoilers on this channel. Or on this on this channel in general, yeah. Strongman, please don't block me, but what is your opinions on trannies? I'm not gonna block you, I just removed the comment so that it doesn't spoil it for people. But, yeah, so no worries there. But, I don't know who the trannies are, really. Squidward, the almighty meme god. Sorry, forgot spoilers. Don't worry about it. HYT Abbott, do you think Rick would have killed every single savior that Jesus said have apparently surrendered? Difficult to say. There's a part of Rick that wants to kill all of the saviors, but there's another part of him that might want to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt if they do surrender. We saw that in the premiere of Season 8. So it's not unlikely for him to not want to kill them, but at the same time, I think he is more rational about it as well. He's not just going to risk everything. I think Jesus is risking everything, bringing all of the prisoners to the hilltop. Epic Zombie Killer. Do you think it's actually Dave Erickson writing that people didn't like... Wait, what? Do you think it's actually Dave Erickson's writing that people didn't like? Will these new showrunners make the show better? I think it had a lot to do with the writing. A lot. And I think the new showrunners and the new writers will definitely change things if they have better ideas. Bob Stuckey, do you watch PT Channel? No, I don't. He talks about a lot of spoilers, and I'm not into spoilers. Strongman, PT Channel is good. AJ Abbott, do you think Ezekiel would have killed Jared if he was there with Jesus, Tara, and Morgan? Yeah, probably. Strongman, how tall are you? I'm not that tall, but I'm not that short. I would say I'm more on the shorter side, but yeah. Alright, let's actually end the live stream here because I want to do a couple of other videos tonight as well. So I'm gonna leave room for that as well. Thank you everyone who participated on this live stream. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody. Not same time, but next week we're gonna have the same thing, either Friday or Saturday. A live stream for the episode that would air probably, or episode 6 at that time. So everything we see in episode 6 we're gonna discuss next week, and we're gonna predict about episode 7. That live stream video that I talked about, that spoiler live stream, that's going to be before the mid-season finale. So after season 8, episode 7 airs, the week after, before the next episode 8 airs, I'm going to be doing that spoiler live stream. I might do 2 live streams, one spoiler, one non-spoiler, and most likely they're each going to be 15 minutes. So that way together it's a half an hour thing. Because I do want to kind of make sure I have enough time to do some of the things I want to do next week as well. In terms of videos, and I have some other stuff as well I have to do. Alright, yeah. I just saw a few questions. I'll answer 2 more questions and then I'll probably end it. AJ Abbott, do you think Dwight will try to bust out Gabriel or will Eugene? They both could. I think Dwight will probably do it first. Epic Zombie Killer, what is your favorite volume of the comics? Favorite volume of the comics is All Out War Part 1. Then All Out War Part 2. So yeah, thank you everybody that participated. I'll see you next week.